Will you check under the bed and make sure there's no Disney executives under there?
Disney just burned $250 million on a modern Snow White, but the only thing truly on fire is the roast South Park serve for dessert.
That's actually the best explanation I've heard as to why Disney movies all suck now.
Nobody strolls into a casino planning to set their chips ablaze, yet that's exactly what Disney did by shoving an estimated $250 to $270 million into a live-action Snow White reboot. Factor in a globe-spanning ad blitz, theme park tie-ins, sub-bay billboards, influencer junkets, and the tab rockets north of $400 million. For context, that's more than Top Gun Maverick cost to make and market, with Tom Cruise actually flying jets. Opening weekend, a frosty $43 million. Week 2, $14 million and change. By week 3, the film's average ticket price was lower than the popcorn. The math looks less happily ever after and more call the accountants. Again, analysts already whisper it'll join John Carter and the Lone Ranger in Disney's mausoleum of misfires.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Enter Rachel Zegler, Disney's hand-picked Snow White. During what was supposed to be a fluffy press tour, she labeled the 1937 prince a stalker. Bragged the new film isn't about a love story, and half-joked the prince might be cut entirely. In a single TikTok cycle, decades of nostalgia collided with Gen Z bluntness, and the hashtag #NotMySnowWhite detonated. Reddit threads ballooned faster than Dopey's ears, dissecting every syllable she uttered. Zegler tried to walk it back, blaming context, but the internet keeps receipts and timestamps. Disney's PR playbook suddenly looked like it was written on parchment.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
Then Peter Dinklage jumped in, calling Disney f***ing backwards for romanticizing a tale he says portrays little people as cave dwellers. Cue corporate panic. Out went practical dwarf actors, in came CGI stand-ins nobody asked for, except maybe the VFX vendor. Disability advocates cried foul, dwarf performers lost work, and Twitter lit up with side-by-side images of the original dwarfs versus a bizarre lineup that looked like a hipster band poster. Even Dinklage's supporters wondered if Disney had overcorrected into pure nonsense. Irony meter off the charts again.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Smelling blood in the water, Trey Parker and Matt Stone dropped a 49-minute special where Cartman dreams his friends are replaced by diverse women complaining about the patriarchy. In a single scene, Stan morphs into a Latina astrophysicist, Kenny becomes a plus-size activist, and Butters is a gender-fluid tech bro. All while Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy crank out reboots from a literal pander stone factory. The episode lands like a meteor, obliterating forced wokeness and lazy anti-woke rage in one glorious crater. Viewers laughed, gasped, and promptly re-watched to catch Easter eggs skewering everything from She-Hulk to the MCU's Phase 5 fatigue.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
YouTube insiders swear Zegler was in tears after the special aired, allegedly threatening action if the mockery kept snowballing. Her socials went dark for 48 hours, a lifetime in PR. When she resurfaced, the tone was suspiciously corporate. Bullet point gratitude posts, squeaky clean emojis, zero sarcasm. Fans sniffed a crisis team rewrite from a mile away. Whether the meltdown tale was legit or overblown internet telephone, it kept comment sections sizzling and shoved Snow White back into trending tabs, ironically boosting the very discourse Disney wanted to douse.
Nothing has brought me greater joy than watching the Walt Disney Company absolutely panic over the last few weeks. They're mad at South Park because they're making fun of their woke ideologies, constantly race swapping or religion swapping everything in their movie.
By week 3, global grosses crawled to approximately $145 million, barely pocket change against the $270 million budget. Toss in theater cuts, and you're staring at approximately $115 million black hole. Disney's internal memo allegedly compared the situation to sailing the Titanic into an iceberg we designed ourselves. Merch sales didn't help. Funko Pops of a princeless Snow White collected dust on store shelves. Meanwhile, rival studios sent thank you fruit baskets for drawing fire away from their own flots. Execs quietly iced a live-action Tangled and placed creative diversity task force meetings on indefinite hold. Turns out, nostalgia can't save a film that punts its own heart out the window.
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap. that. Great dude.
On one side, viewers cheer a Latina Snow White as overdue representation. On the other, lifelong fans call the changes lazy checkboxing. Why not craft new legends instead of repainting old ones? Hollywood screenwriters whisper that studios treat IP like Lego bricks. Just swap heads and call it progress. South Park's special throws shade at both camps. Performative diversity and endless rage bait are equally hollow. Its final punchline? If everyone's shouting buzzwords, nobody's telling good stories. The debate has spilled into film school classrooms, TikTok essays, and even shareholder meetings where one investor reportedly asked, "Can we get a plot before we get a hashtag?"
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024.
Industry whispers say Disney has a full-stop review on upcoming remakes. Tangled paused, Pocahontas quietly mothballed, execs terrified of the next PR minefield. A leaked slide deck outlines 3 paths: double down on nostalgia, pivot to brand new IP, or partner with outside studios for creative rehab. Shareholders demand fresh stories. Creatives beg for breathing room. Accountants just want the bleeding to stop. Meanwhile, South Park's rating spike proves audiences still crave brutal honesty, even if it singes their favorite brands. Whether Disney listens to its own mirror on the wall or just keeps polishing the glass will decide the fate of every princess waiting in line for a 4K makeover. And if they don't, Trey Parker's pen is already loaded with ink.
I'm a narcissist. Say, if I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed.
Weird.
Disney thought it could trade storytelling soul for virtue points and box office gold. South Park handed back a scorched IOU. If the House of Mouse wants its magic back, it might start by remembering the first rule of fairy tales. Authenticity beats pandering. Every time. Smash that subscribe, drop your take below, and stick around, because the next remake is already knocking and the mirror's getting impatient.